Satoru Gojo has a high possibility of coming back at the end of Kenjaku versus Takaba's fight, and yes, you guys heard me right, we have a lot of information to share with you guys. With the recent information we just learned in chapter 242, it all makes sense. So in today's video we're gonna be breaking down everything, and also thank you to bigdaddygojo for this theory. They played a major role in getting this information out there. Anyways, with that said, let's go. So during Kenjaku's first encounter with Gojo, Geto choked his own neck out in response to Gojo telling him wake up, showing that Geto is somewhere deep within his consciousness. What would have been the point of adding this from a narrative standpoint if Geto was never going to be awakened by Gojo again? To be a one-time thing with no sort of proper conclusion to it would just make no sense. Even though Geto was 100% dead and killed by Satoru Gojo, he still had enough strength and consciousness to control his body, grabbing his neck when Kenjaku was in control of his body. So Gege is already foreshadowing that Geto will be back in the story somehow. And if this is too hard to believe, take Toji for example. Toji definitely died by the hands of Satoru Gojo's purple, but he still made it back in the Shibuya arc, even though he was confirmed to be dead. Now let's go back to the theory. When Gojo was on seal, the very first person he sees is Kenjaku, and the very last person he laid eyes on before his sealing is also the first person he laid on after his unsealing, which is also Kenjaku. Gojo then tells Kenjaku that his next words will be his last and proceeds to engage him, but Sukuna intervenes. Upon speaking with Sukuna and Kenjaku, Gojo says to Sukuna, "You ran away from Yuji last time, but now you wanna talk all tough." This was basically hinting that Sukuna and Yuji would be the final battle. Defeating Sukuna wasn't intended to be Gojo's accomplishment. It was supposed to be Yuji Itadori. The true purpose of Gojo versus Sukuna was to free Gojo from the curse of being the strongest. Gojo always says to himself that he cannot have multiple death anniversaries for Geto. By him saying this, he is essentially saying that he will be the one to kill Kenjaku and finally put Geto's body to rest. So in their encounter, we already have foreshadowing for Yuji versus Sukuna and Gojo versus Kenjaku being the true final battle. And also we have seen multiple arcs with hidden implications that Gojo will be the one to face Kenjaku. We have seen Gojo side by side with Yuji ready to fight in a magazine's covers with Gojo and Kenjaku on them even after his death, and the mandala poster which has Yuji and Sukuna on it and Gojo and Kenjaku. Also, the number 7 is important to Satoru Gojo. What we already know about Gojo's connection to the number 7 is that Gojo was born on December the 7th. He's based on a Buddha who took 7 steps north to enlightenment on his 29th birthday. Gojo's physical body is about to experience being 29 in a few hours if you take away the time spent in the prison realm. It's been said that Gojo is often 7 to 8 minutes late. There are 7 lotus flowers in the panel in chapter 236. Gojo is in the cover of Shibuya Incident Part 7 on page 7 of the volume, which is chapter 89. He was born on December the 7th, 1989 with 2 halos above his head, and it's also been theorized that Takaba and Kenjaku battle would last around 7 chapters long. I don't know how true that one will be, but it is a possibility, which would ultimately make the chapter 246 the final chapter of their battle. And that lines up with a release date based on Gege's current schedule of 3 chapters on, 1 chapters off. of Christmas Eve. So at the moment, Gojo is about to turn 29 plus reach true enlightenment, and it's on Christmas Eve in the Jujutsu Kaisen universe. Also, the name Idiot Survivor is consistent throughout these chapters, but Idiot could also be applying to Gojo. One, because it would be shocking if Takaba came out of this alive, and two, because we had multiple people refer to him as Idiot throughout the series. In fact, right before he went face to face with Sukuna, someone did call him a idiot. Well, as of the latest leaks we got last night, we know that Takaba and Kenjaku are about to take the stage to a battle in the comedy show. And there is only one other art we have associated with a comedy show, and it's Gojo and Geto from Hidden Inventory arc. Kenjaku said it himself that Satoru Gojo would have killed him if he had left Sukuna's side, and he will defeat Kenjaku upon his return. And after hearing all of this, it has to make sense. Just the other day, I made a video that Yuji will be the one to fight Sukuna. Ever since the series of Jujutsu Kaisen started, Yuji has been tormented by Sukuna time after time after time. It always seemed like it was going to be Sukuna versus Gojo and Gojo was going to win, but no, it is going to actually be Gojo versus Kenjaku and Yuji versus Sukuna. After Gojo got unsealed from the prison realm, Gojo immediately wanted to find Kenjaku because that was the person he wanted to fight. He would have already killed Kenjaku, as stated by Kenjaku himself that if he wasn't by Sukuna's side, he would have definitely died. And when diving deeper in the battle between Kenjaku and Takaba right now, it seems like Takaba has the power to manifest anything into real life, even living beings. So as long as Takaba finds it funny, it will be manifested. And a theory that is going around right now in the community is that Takaba could possibly bring back Satoru Gojo to life by saying it's simply funny if Satoru Gojo was to return right now. Takaba's curse technique is truly incredible, and it's so sad that Takaba doesn't know the exact true extent of his powers and how to use it. If Takaba did set his goals on getting Gojo back or, killing Kenjaku, that would have definitely 100% happened, but right now he is focus on making Kenjaku laugh. So you can basically say that Takaba has the ability to raise anyone from the dead as long as he finds it funny. So people like Nanami, probably people like Nobara. Maybe he could possibly even save Megumi as long as he finds it funny, but we need to get a better explanation of his ability before we can make such accusations. Anyways guys, definitely let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you guys think? Is Takaba saving Gojo, or will Gojo be fighting Kenjaku? And Yuji Itadori will definitely, it's all but confirmed, Yuji Itadori will definitely be fighting Sukuna. Definitely comment your thoughts down below in the comment section. Subscribe if you guys learned something new, and with that said, I will see you all in my next video.